You are on the bridge. The main view screen fills the space before you. It shows nothing but the endless, quiet black. Stars glitter like spilled salt on velvet. It is a peaceful night on the frontier. A boring night. Your watch is almost over. Then the alert shrieks. A single, piercing tone cuts through the bridge's low hum. Everyone straightens up. The piece shatters into a million tiny pieces. On the screen, a lone contact blinks into existence. It is the scout ship Wanderer. It is one of yours. But its icon is flashing a frantic, angry red. The comms channel crackles open. Static floods the speakers. It is a wall of noise, a sound like grinding metal and screaming. Beneath it all, a voice fights to be heard. It is the voice of Captain Eva Rostova. You know her. You served with her on the Stalwart. Her words are broken. They are ripped apart by the static. Not pirates, not Grak, something else. The signal strains. The audio clips and distorts. Gods, the silence. It's so quiet. That part makes no sense. The channel is filled with deafening noise. The tactical officer leans forward. His knuckles are white on his console. I'm losing them, he says, his voice tight. Their energy signature is dropping off a cliff. You watch the red icon flicker. It is a dying ember in the vast, cold dark. Eva's voice returns for a final moment. It is unnaturally calm now. It is a horrifying, resigned sort of calm. It's wearing our ship, she whispers, like a skin. The line goes dead. The static vanishes. The silence she spoke of finally arrives. It is more terrifying than any scream. On the main screen, the Wanderer changes. Its running lights extinguish one by one. The ship's familiar gray hull seems to darken. It shifts from gray to charcoal, then to a deep, lightless obsidian. Then, a final horrifying transmission arrives. It is not audio. It is a single, packed data burst. The system deciphers it in a nanosecond. An image flashes onto the screen. It is the bridge of the Wanderer. The crew is there. They are frozen in place. Their faces are masks of pure, unending terror. And from the captain's chair, from Ava's chair, something new looks out at you. It is not human. It does not belong. The image vanishes. The Wanderer's icon disappears from the display. It is gone. The void is empty again. But it is no longer peaceful. The silence it leaves behind is a weapon. It is a warning. The bridge is quiet enough to hear your own heart hammer. The crew looks to you. They are waiting for an order. They are waiting for you to make sense of this. But all you have is the fading echo of a friend's last words, and the chilling image of what wore her ship like a skin. You open a channel to the high command. Your voice is steady. You will not let them hear the fear. You report the loss of the Wanderer. You report what you saw. You send them the data burst. The response is swift. The response is not what you expect. The face of Admiral Thorne appears on your private comms screen. His hair is perfectly gray. His uniform is impossibly crisp. He looks more like a statue than a man, a monument to decades of unchallenged authority. He does not look concerned. He looks annoyed. "Junior officer?" he begins. His voice is a low rumble of condescension. He does not use your name. He does not need to. You are a rank, not a person. I have reviewed your report. He pauses, letting the silence hang in the air. It is a practiced, dismissive silence. Your scout likely encountered a rare plasma phenomenon. He says it with such certainty, as if he is explaining a simple math problem to a child. The data burst was a sensor ghost, a glitch caused by the energy field. He waves a hand, dismissing the death of an entire crew, dismissing Eva's final, terrified words. You stand your ground. Admiral, with respect, that was no glitch. Your voice is firm. Captain Rostova's testimony was clear. Something attacked them. Something wore their ship. The Admiral's eyes narrow. The statue is cracking. He does not like being questioned, especially by a junior officer on a remote outpost. Respect? He scoffs. You see ghosts in the dark, officer. You let your imagination run wild. He leans closer to his camera. The High Council ensures the safety of our systems. Our fleets are the strongest in this arm of the galaxy. No one would dare attack us. It's the same speech they give every year. A comforting lie wrapped in tradition. He tells you that you are overwrought. He says the frontier plays tricks on the mind. He suggests a psychological evaluation. It is a threat. A quiet, bureaucratic threat. Fall in line, or your career is over. He calls your fears the ramblings of a junior officer. He orders you to stand down. The official record will state the Wanderer was lost. His voice is final. Lost to a navigational malfunction. End of story. He does not ask if you understand. He does not care. He is ending the conversation. He is burying the truth. But you saw the image from the Wanderer's bridge. You saw the thing in Eva's chair. That was not a plasma field. That was not a glitch. The Admiral believes his own propaganda. He believes the reassuring stories the Council tells itself. That hubris, that pride, is a bigger threat than any enemy fleet. It is a weakness waiting to be exploited. The Admiral's face vanishes from the screen. You are left alone with the truth. You have a choice. You can obey. You can let the story die. You can save your career, or you can honor the memory of your friend. You can heed her warning. The choice is not a choice at all. It is a duty. They did not just dismiss your report. They punished you for it. The official reassignment order comes through the next morning. You are grounded, confined to orbital station duty. Your command is stripped away. They want to bury you in paperwork. They hope you will fade into obscurity. A forgotten officer with a wild imagination. The station is a monument to bureaucracy. Endless gray corridors hum with recycled air. Everyone here moves with a slow, resigned shuffle. This is where careers come to die. It is a perfect cage. But they made a critical mistake. They left you with a terminal. And they underestimated your resolve. You cannot be stopped by a demotion. You are not trying to save your career. You are trying to save everyone. You begin to work in the quiet hours. When the station sleeps, you reach out. You send encrypted messages to a select few. You look for the others, the ones who also saw the truth in the static. Your first contact is Jack's. He was the tactical officer on your bridge. He saw what you saw. They tried to silence him too. They reassigned him to a cargo freighter, a route that goes nowhere important, twice a week. He replies to your message in minutes. His answer is 2 words. I'm in. He was always a man of few words, especially when he was loading munitions. Next is Dr. Eris, a brilliant xenoanalyst. He was laughed out of the Science Academy. He proposed a theory about silent, predatory civilizations. He called them void wraiths. The Academy called him a fantasist. They published papers debunking his life's work. He now manages the station's hydroponics bay, growing space lettuce for the ungrateful. He responds to your message with a mountain of his own research. Data you have never seen before. It aligns perfectly with what happened to the Wanderer. Slowly, you build your secret alliance. A communications tech who intercepted a fragment of Eva's message. A former intelligence agent put on permanent leave for being too paranoid. Each one is an outcast. Each one was punished for getting too close to an uncomfortable truth. They are the forgotten ones, the dismissed, the disgraced. You are a collection of ghosts, haunting the edges of the system. They thought they could ground you. They thought they could silence you all. But all they did was bring you together. They created the very conspiracy they feared. You have no ship. You have no authority. But you have a team. And you have a purpose. Your resolve is stronger than any metal cage. Dr. Aris gives you the key. It is not a physical key. It is a string of code, a back door into the High Council's most protected secret, the Deep Archive. This is not the public history. This is the real history, the one they lock away from their own people, the one they are afraid of. Accessing it is a crime. It is treason. But your career is already a smoking crater. What's a little treason between friends? You use the station's central server. You route your signal through a dozen dead relays. You become a ghost in their machine. The code from Aris works. The archive opens. It is not a place of tidy files and organized data. It is a chaotic storm of information, fragments of reports, redacted testimonies, unexplained ship disappearances going back centuries. It is a graveyard of inconvenient truths. You begin to search for patterns. You look for anything that matches the Wanderer's fate. You find a file. It is ancient. It is labeled only with a symbol, a spiral with a dark center. The file is corrupted, but parts of it are readable. It is a record from the Elder Ones, the civilization that came before humanity in this sector. The race that vanished without a trace. Everyone assumed they simply moved on, ascended to some higher plane of existence. That was the comforting story. The file tells a different story. It is a desperate plea, a final warning. It speaks of a cyclical event, a wave of destruction that washes over the galaxy. It comes every 50,000 years. It is a tide of silent, obsidian ships. The file describes them perfectly. It matches what you saw. The Elder Ones called them the Harvesters. They did not come for conquest. They did not come for resources. They came for something else entirely. The file is heavily damaged here. The words flicker and die. Consume the light. Fleeing the dark. The phrases are chilling. They are incomplete. The Harvesters were not the original threat. They were the symptom. The Elder Ones tried to fight them. They built vast fleets. They constructed mighty weapons. They lost. Their entire civilization was erased, wiped clean from the star charts. All that is left is this single, broken message, a whisper in a digital tomb. The Council knows. They have known for centuries. They chose to hide the truth. They chose to build their comfortable reality on a foundation of lies. They hoped the cycle would skip them. They bet the lives of everyone on blind hope. Now you understand their fear. Now you understand their desperate need to silence you. You have uncovered the sin that underpins their entire authority. The Starborn wave is coming again. And this time, you will not be silent. The file from the Elder Ones contains more than just a warning. Buried deep within the corrupted data is something else. It is a chart, not of stars or planets. It is a chart of impossible space, a route through a place no modern ship would ever dare to go. It is a map of the Serpent's Nebula, a notoriously unstable ion storm. Modern star science calls the nebula unnavigable. A ship that enters is torn apart by gravimetric shears. It is fried by electromagnetic pulses. No one has ever tried to cross it. No one sane, at least. But the Elder Ones saw it differently. They did not see a storm. They saw a sanctuary, The chart is a complex, winding path. It details safe passages through the swirling chaos. It shows corridors of stable space-time hidden within the storm. It reveals a route only a madman or a genius would attempt. The file gives this route a name. It is called the Pilgrimage Through the Ion Storm. This was their last hope, a secret road to a hidden sanctuary, a place where the harvesters could not follow. The Elder Ones never made it. They were destroyed before they could begin their exodus. But the map survived, a legacy of failure, a blueprint for survival. Dr. Aris is skeptical. The energy readings from that nebula are off the charts. He shows you the data on a shared screen. Even with this map, the odds are astronomical. He's not wrong. The pilgrimage is a desperate gamble, a 1 in a million shot. But what other choice do you have? The High Council is blind. The fleet is unprepared. The harvesters are coming. A straight fight is suicide. You need an edge. You need a place to hide. You need a fortress that no one else can breach. The Ion Storm is that fortress. The Council thinks we're beaten, you say to your small, scattered team. You speak to them through the encrypted channel. They think we are sitting in our cages, waiting to be forgotten. You can almost feel their attention tighten across the void. They are wrong. You send them the chart. You send them the name of the pilgrimage. We are not going to wait for the end. We are going to meet it on our own terms. It is a promise. It is a declaration of war, not just against the coming darkness, but against the foolish pride of your own leaders. You must find a ship. You must gather your crew. The pilgrim's perilous path awaits, and it is your only hope. You have a plan. You have a map. You do not have a ship. You cannot simply walk into a shipyard and borrow one, not when you are the system's most famous disgraced officer. You need a vessel that no one will miss. A ghost ship for a ghost crew. Jax knows a place. It is called the Graveyard, a remote asteroid belt where ships are sent to be decommissioned. It is a junkyard of forgotten heroes and failed prototypes, a place of rust and memories. Jax directs you to a specific sector, to a single dark shape tumbling slowly in the void. It is a Comet-class fast courier, an old design, but a tough one. Its name is the Stardust Drifter. It was supposed to be scrapped a decade ago. A clerical error kept it off the final demolition list. It has sat here ever since, silent and waiting. A forgotten ship for a forgotten crew. It's perfect. It's also probably full of space rats, which is a light joke. You have to keep a sense of humor. Getting to it is the first challenge. Your team is scattered. Aris is on the main station. Jax is on his cargo freighter. Your other recruits are spread across the system. You coordinate a series of accidents and emergencies. A coolant leak on the station requires Aris to evacuate to a shuttle. Jax's freighter suffers a nav computer failure that sends it drifting near the graveyard. One by one, your unsung heroes slip through the cracks in the system. You meet at the Stardust Drifter. The ship is cold. The air is stale. But its core systems are intact. The fusion reactor just needs a little persuasion and a lot of technical expertise. Your crew is a collection of the disgraced and forgotten. But they are also brilliant. An engineer who was fired for unsafe modifications. A pilot who was grounded for reckless flying. They are the best of the worst. They look at the old ship. They see the rust. They see the outdated consoles. But they also see freedom. They see a purpose. They have nothing left to lose. And that makes them dangerous. That makes them the perfect crew for a suicide mission. The engineer gets the reactor online. The lights flicker to life. The ship hums with a weak, but steady power. The pilot sits in the captain's chair. She runs her hands over the controls. "She's got good bones," she says with a grin. "Just needs a little love." They all get to work. They are no longer outcasts. They are a crew. They are the crew of the Stardust Drifter, and they are about to steal this forgotten ship. They will fly it straight into the heart of a cosmic storm. It sounds crazy, because it is. But it's the only path you have left. You are calibrating the Drifter's long-range sensors. Aris is beside you. He is trying to coax the ancient systems into working. Suddenly, the proximity alert screams. It is not a drill. A massive energy spike blooms on the edge of the system, far beyond the Council's outermost defensive perimeter. "They're here," Aris whispers. His voice is a mixture of terror and vindication. The readings are impossible. An entire fleet just appeared out of nowhere. No jump signature, no dimensional tear. They simply arrived, as if they were always there, hiding just outside of perception. You open a channel to the Council's public comms network. You broadcast on all frequencies. This is a warning. You shout into the void. "An unknown fleet has entered the system. I repeat, we are not alone." You hope someone is listening. You hope they believe you this time. On your screen, the enemy fleet resolves into shapes. They are just as the Elder Ones described. A fleet of silent obsidian ships. They are shaped like sharpened shards of glass. There are no lights, no viewports, no visible weapon emplacements. They glide through the void with an unnatural grace. They are beautiful, and they are terrifying. The High Council responds, but not to you. They broadcast a system-wide message of their own. Admiral Thorne's face appears. He looks calm. He looks arrogant. "A minor faction has entered our space," he declares. "Our grand fleet is moving to intercept. There is no cause for alarm." He calls your warning an act of panic, an attempt to sow chaos. The Council's prized defenses move to meet the threat. A line of battleships, gleaming with silver and gold trim. They are magnificent symbols of the Council's power. They broadcast hails in a dozen languages. They ask the Obsidian ships to identify themselves. The Obsidian ships do not respond. Then it happens. The opening volley. It does not come from cannons. It does not look like any weapon you have ever seen. A wave of pure darkness ripples out from the lead Obsidian ship. It is not energy. It is not matter. It is an absence. A wave of absolute nothing. The wave washes over the Council's lead battleship. The great ship does not explode. It does not break apart. It simply ends. One moment, it is there, a proud vessel of war. The next, it is gone, vanished from existence. The crews of the other battleships have a single, horrifying second to understand. Their shields are useless. Their armor is meaningless. Their pride has led them to their doom. Panic shatters the Council's fleet. They break formation. They fire their weapons wildly. Beams of energy lance out into the void. They splash harmlessly against the obsidian hulls. The enemy ships absorb the light. They seem to feed on it. The Council's first line of defense, the symbol of their strength, is being dismantled. Piece by agonizing piece. The first blood has been shed, and it is a torrent. The Council's fleet is in full retreat, what is left of it. They are running, broadcasting desperate cries for help on channels that are suddenly full of static. The Obsidian ships pursue them relentlessly. Methodically, they are not a disorganized horde. They move with a cold, calculated precision. It is a slaughter. This is your chance. While the harvesters are occupied, while the system's attention is focused on the battle. You give the order. "Take us in," you tell your pilot. Set a course for the Serpent's Nebula. She does not hesitate. The Stardust Drifter is not a warship. It is a courier, and it is time to deliver a message to yourselves. The ship turns. It leaves the battle behind. It points its nose towards the swirling chaos of the ion storm. On the view screen, the nebula grows. It is a tempest of color. Violent purples and angry reds, streaks of electric blue and sickly green. It is beautiful from a distance. Up close, it is a monster. Hull integrity is already dropping. Your engineer calls out from his station. The outer shields are fluctuating like mad. You can feel it. A low, constant vibration that shakes the entire ship. The lights flicker. The old systems groan in protest. You are flying into a cosmic hurricane. In a ship that was meant for a junkyard. Not exactly a 5-star travel experience. Jax is at the tactical station. He is watching the pursuers. A single harvester ship just broke off, he reports. His voice is grim. It's following us. Of course it is. They noticed your escape. They cannot allow any witnesses. They cannot allow any survivors. Can we outrun it? You ask your pilot. She laughs. A short, sharp sound. In this rust bucket? Not a chance. She glances at the nebula looming before you. But maybe we can outfly it. She grins. The reckless pilot who was grounded for her dangerous maneuvers. She's finally in her element. You plunge into the roaring maelstrom. The ship screams. Alarms blare across the bridge. The view screen is a chaotic wash of energy. The ship is tossed about like a leaf in a storm. But you follow the map. The ancient path laid out by the Elder Ones. You weave through gravimetric shears. You dive under arcs of raw plasma. The harvester ship follows. It is relentless. But the storm affects it too. Its perfect silent grace is disrupted. It struggles to navigate the chaotic currents. It is a predator. But this is not its hunting ground. You are not just running away. You are changing the battlefield. You are leading your enemy into a place where the rules are different. A place where a forgotten little ship might just have a chance. The raw energy of the nebula tests your ship's very hull, and it tests your crew's courage. The pilgrimage has begun. The storm is a relentless beast. It batters your ship from every direction. The Stardust Drifter groans under the strain. Every rivet and plate protests the abuse. Your pilot is a master. She dances the ship through the chaos. But the harvester ship is still behind you. It is damaged but determined. A shadow that clings to your wake. I'm picking up something, Jack says. His voice cuts through the chorus of alarms. Another ship. Dead ahead. That's impossible. Nothing should be in here. Nothing could survive in here for long. It's not a harvester, he adds. The energy signature is old. Very old. You push the drifter forward, following the strange reading. The storm's interference is immense, but the signal is a steady pulse, a lonely heartbeat in the roaring tempest. Then you see it, drifting in a pocket of eerie calm. A ghost ship. Its hull is scarred and pitted, but its lines are unmistakable. It is a battleship from the last great war, a relic from a forgotten age. It is a Victory-class dreadnought, one of the largest ships ever built by human hands. Records said they were all destroyed, scrapped after the Treaty of Altair. Yet here one sits, perfectly preserved in the storm's embrace. The nebula's strange properties have shielded it from the ravages of time. It is a museum piece floating in a hurricane. There's no power signature, Eris reports, his eyes wide. But the ship isn't a dead husk. The storm is keeping its core systems in a low-energy stasis. It's a ship in a bottle. a bottle made of pure energy. Your mind races. A ship from that era would have logs, detailed records of its service. That ship fought in the Outer Rim conflicts, you say, thinking aloud. That's where the Elder Ones made their last stand. It's a long shot, a wild guess. But maybe, just maybe, this ship saw something. Maybe its logs recorded the harvesters. You have to get aboard. But the harvester ship is closing in. It has recovered from the initial shock of the storm. It is adapting. I need a distraction, you tell Jax. He grins, a feral, hungry grin. I can do that. He reroutes a surge of power from the main reactor. He fires a single, overloaded plasma burst. Not at the harvester, but at a nearby plasma stream. The reaction is instantaneous. The plasma stream destabilizes. It erupts into a massive, swirling vortex of energy, right in the harvester's path. The obsidian ship is forced to swerve violently. It is buying you time. Precious minutes. You dock the Stardust Drifter with the ancient dreadnought. The airlock hisses open. The air inside is cold and still. It smells of ozone and old metal. You step onto the bridge of the ghost ship. Emergency lights flicker weakly. The logs are still there. The ship's computer is asleep, not dead. You begin the process of waking it up. You have to find its secrets. You have to find the enemy's hidden weakness before your own shadow returns. The Dreadnought's log terminal hums to life. It is slow, ancient, but it works. Aris helps you navigate the archaic file system. It is a maze of military protocols and forgotten encryption. You are looking for its final patrol, its last mission logs from the Outer Rim. You find them. The files are locked. They are sealed with a captain's final authority. But your engineer is a genius with security codes. He was fired for bypassing fleet-level encryption for a bet. He claimed he could order a pizza to the Admiral's private quarters. He succeeded. Breaking this old code is child's play for him. The files open. The final logs of the Dreadnought Indomitable appear on the screen. The captain's name was Kenji Tanaka. His entries are terse, professional. He reports engaging an unknown enemy. He describes their silent, obsidian ships. He records the failure of their own weapons against them. It is the same story, the same nightmare. But then the logs change. The Indomitable was not destroyed. It pursued the harvesters. Captain Tanaka was stubborn. He followed them into a region of dead space, a place where the stars were unnaturally dim. He wanted to understand his enemy. He got his wish. His final log entry is not a report. It is a confession, a testament of absolute horror. He saw where the harvesters were going. He saw what they were running from. The log is accompanied by a final data packet from the ship's deep space telescope. Aris brings the image up on the main screen. It is a patch of sky that appears black. Empty. Enhance the light spectrum, you order. Aris complies. The image shifts. The blackness is not emptiness. It is a shape, a form of impossible size. It is a living creature, a being that is so vast it blocks out the light of the stars behind it. The log describes it, a horror that consumes entire galaxies, a great devourer that feeds on the energy of suns. The harvesters were not conquerors. They were refugees. They were the last survivors of their own star system. Their sun had been eaten. They travel in ships of absolute darkness, not as camouflage, but as a shield, to hide their own light from the thing that hunts them. Their silent, methodical attacks were not acts of aggression. They were harvests. They were gathering resources. But not for war, for a desperate, hopeless journey into the void. They are running from a monster that is older than time. Their cruelty is the cruelty of utter desperation. The true nature of fear is not the monster at your door. It is the realization that the monster is just as afraid as you are, and it is running from something even worse. The revelation changes everything. The harvesters are not your ultimate enemy. They are a mirror, a dark reflection of what you might become. Desperate, ruthless, hunted. The Indomitable's log gives you more than just this terrifying truth. It gives you an idea, a terrible, brilliant idea. Captain Tanaka's final, desperate act was to turn his ship's weapons not on the harvesters, but on a nearby star. He tried to trigger a small solar flare. He theorized that a burst of concentrated light and energy might disrupt the great devourer's senses. He never got the chance to test it. The harvesters destroyed his ship before he could fire. They were terrified of the light he was about to create. You cannot win with cannons and shields. Your tiny ship is no match for a harvester fleet, let alone a galaxy-eating cosmic horror. You have to think differently. You have to use the environment itself as a weapon. You have to weaponize the cosmos. And you are sitting in the perfect armory. The ion storm. The storm is not just chaos, you say to your crew. The bridge of the drifter is your war room. It's a power source, a weapon waiting to be aimed. Aris pulls up the energy readings of the nebula. The numbers are staggering, enough power to light up 100 systems, or to snuff one out. The plan is insane. It is beautiful in its madness. The harvester ship that followed you is still out there. It is navigating the storm. It is hunting you. You will let it get closer. You will lure it into a specific, unstable sector of the nebula. A place the ancient map of the Elder Ones marks as a confluence point. A place where multiple energy streams collide. Jax looks over the tactical display. You want to poke the storm with a stick and see what bites? He asks. That's one way to put it. You prefer to think of it as giving the storm a target. Your engineer says it's possible. He can modify the ship's main deflector dish, turn it into a focused energy lens. It will let you channel a sliver of the storm's power, a tiny fraction, and redirect it. It's the equivalent of using a single drop of water to start a flood, a massive risk. If you miscalculate, you will vaporize your own ship, or you could tear a hole in space-time. A minor detail. The crew doesn't hesitate. They have faced death for days. What is one more impossible challenge? You are no longer the prey. You are the bait. You will use the storm's immense and unpredictable power. You will show the harvesters that the little sparks of light they hunt can burn them. It is time to turn the storm from your prison into your cannon. The greatest weapon in the galaxy. You begin to move, deeper into the nebula, following the twisting paths of the Elder One's map. You are heading for the confluence point, the place where your insane plan will either work or fail spectacularly. Your pilot pushes the drifter to its limits. The ship groans and shudders. It is a miracle it holds together. The harvester ship follows you. It is cautious now. It senses the trap. But it can't let you go. It can't let you escape with the knowledge you have gained. It is compelled to follow you into the deepening madness of the storm. The space around you grows stranger. The laws of the universe begin to feel negotiable. Colors bend in unnatural ways. Time itself seems to stretch and compress. One moment, the harvester is distant. The next, it is right on top of you. Then, it is far away again. The storm is not just energy. It is a warp in reality, and you are heading for its heart. We're approaching the eye, Aris announces. His voice is strained. He is watching his sensors display information that should not exist. Gravimetric forces are off the scale. The fabric of space is thin here. You know what he means. You can feel it. A strange, weightless feeling. A sense of profound quiet in the middle of the roaring chaos. You have reached the eye of the storm. It is a sphere of perfect, tranquil blackness. Around its edges, the storm rages. A wall of pure, churning energy. But inside this bubble, there is calm. There are no stars. There is only a profound and absolute emptiness. It is a place where the rules of physics have taken a short vacation. The stardust drifter glides into the eye. The vibrations stop. The alarms fall silent. The sudden peace is more jarring than the chaos. The harvester ship hesitates at the edge. It seems afraid to enter. It is a creature of the dark void between stars. This place is something else entirely, a void within a void. This is where you will make your stand. Your engineer gives you a thumbs up. The deflector dish is modified. Your weapon is ready. It's now or never, your pilot says. She holds the ship steady, waiting for the enemy to commit. You open a channel, not to the harvester, to your own crew. Whatever happens next, you say. It has been an honor serving with you. The sentiment is returned in a wave of quiet affirmation from every station. You are a crew of outcasts, of ghosts, and you have come to the most impossible place in the galaxy, to fight an impossible foe. You push deeper into the storm's impossible core. You wait for the shadow to follow, and for the storm to wake. The harvester ship finally enters the eye. Its obsidian hull is a deeper black against the blackness. It glides toward you. Silent, menacing, it thinks it has you trapped. It does not realize it is the one in the cage. Now, you command. Your engineer slams his fist down on a console. The drifter's modified deflector dish fires. It does not shoot a beam of light. It shoots a focused pulse of pure gravity. A tiny, targeted ripple. Not at the harvester ship, but at the wall of the storm behind it. You have poked the beast. You have thrown a stone at the hornet's nest. For a moment, nothing happens. Then, the storm responds. The wall of energy that surrounds the eye begins to churn. A single, massive tendril of plasma lashes out. It is drawn to the gravitational anomaly you created. It moves with impossible speed. A colossal whip made of starfire. It strikes the harvester ship. The obsidian hull that shrugged off battleship cannons cannot resist this. The raw power of the nebula is absolute. The ship is engulfed in a flash of incandescent light. It does not explode. It evaporates. One moment it is there. The next, it is gone, leaving behind nothing but a fading afterimage against the storm. Silence returns to the eye. Your crew is stunned. They are breathing again. You did it. The insane plan worked. You weaponized a nebula. You defeated an invincible foe. A cheer erupts on the bridge, a raw, ragged sound of victory and relief. But your celebration is cut short. The harvester is gone, but you have a new problem. The storm is awake now. The tendril of energy you summoned does not retreat. It writhes in the eye. The calm is broken. The pocket of stable space is collapsing. The eye of the storm is closing, and you are inside it. The exit path is gone, your pilot shouts. She is fighting the controls as the ship begins to tumble. The storm is pulling us in. You look at the view screen. The walls of energy are closing in on you. The beautiful, terrible power you unleashed is about to consume you. It seems you won the battle, but you have lost the war. You have nowhere left to run, but you are not going to die. Not today. You have an idea. It is even crazier than the last one. You open a channel, a broad, open, unencrypted channel. You broadcast on all frequencies. You are not calling for help. You are sending a message, not to the High Council, not to your friends. You are speaking to the enemy, to the entire Harvester fleet still ravaging your home system. You are not going to threaten them. You are not going to gloat. You will offer them a truce. You show them everything. You transmit the logs from the Indomitable. You send them the image of the Great Devourer. You show them the truth you uncovered. You know what they are running from. You know their fear. Then you show them what you just did. You send them the tactical data from your fight. You show them how you use the storm, how you turn the cosmos itself into a weapon, not as a threat, but as an offer, a demonstration. You cannot defeat the Great Devourer with ships and cannons, but you might be able to fight it with this, with the raw power of the universe itself. You transmit the map from the Elder Ones, the pilgrimage through the ion storm. You offer them sanctuary, not just from the Devourer, but from their own despair. You are not alone. You broadcast into the void. We are all running from the same darkness. It is an unlikely ceasefire, a plea for peace sent from the heart of a collapsing starstorm. There is a long silence. The only sounds are the groans of your ship and the roar of the dying storm. You do not know if they can even hear you, or if they will listen. You have offered them a choice, trust or annihilation. The fate of two peoples hangs on their response. Then a signal returns. It is not a weapons discharge. It is a single, clear tone, a response. On your screen, a new path opens. A stable corridor through the storm. It was not there before. The Harvester fleet created it. They are using their own technology to tame a small portion of the storm. To show you the way out, they have accepted your truce. The Stardust Drifter surges forward. Following the path to safety, you emerge from the nebula, battered, broken, but alive. And you are not alone. The entire Harvester fleet is waiting for you. Their silent, obsidian ships hang in the void. They are not pointing their weapons at you. They are waiting. Your gamble paid off. You have an ally, an army of desperate, ruthless, and brilliant refugees. But as you look at the assembled fleet, a new alert flashes on your screen. It is from Dr. Aris. His face is pale. The energy signature, he stammers. The one from the Devourer. It's not distant anymore. It's here. You turn to the main view screen. The stars in the distance begin to flicker. They are not just flickering. They are going out, one by one. A wave of absolute darkness is spreading across the galaxy. A shadow that blots out the light. The Great Devourer is no longer a distant threat from an old log file. It has arrived. The true enemy appears, a being that feeds on the light of stars. It is a presence more than a creature, a hole in the fabric of reality. The Obsidian fleet was merely the first herald of its coming. A wave of terror washes over your comms channels, from your own crew and from the Harvesters. They have run for generations. But now, there is nowhere left to run. Your fleet and the Obsidian ships turn as one. You face the encroaching darkness together. The enemy is no longer each other. It is the vast, hungry emptiness that has come to consume you all. The pilgrimage has ended. Your journey through the storm is over. But the war for the survival of two peoples, the war for the light itself, has just begun. A dawn of two peoples is here, and it may be their last.